And at the other end of this entire thing, if we somehow make it game 5, with some even 5 hundos out here, we may be going to Slayer Vacancy. But let's kick it off. Good old Koth on the coldest place that you can find it.
That's very, very good. I miss having you on the desk. I really do. And it's always a pleasure to have you. It's always a hoot, a grand old time. But yes, we are starting off with the POV of Baller as he gets shot down by a Spartan Tiger. That'll be Zeta, who does get traded out as well. But 3 go dead momentarily for SNU. However, the Tigers are a little late to get onto this hill, but it's not going to be much longer before they got on there and started getting some time. But Manila gets a shot into the face, and also one for you as well, Dirty Brains. But SNU are on the attack.
Assassin trying to get some direct contact from up that S7. Nice lateral coverage to just deny any easy placement onto this hill. If you're able to control the top side of that map rather than the lower side of this one, then you really can use that mid rock, and it's so tough to get around. Nice little back tap. 3 go down temporarily here for Southern Nazarene as the Crimson Storm has turned more into rain. More time being acquired by the Tigers, especially as they defend well here in Sewer.
One of the players that I would love to watch more of is Zeta. He is the captain. He is also the MVP, the top slayer of the Spartan Tigers team. Clemson love him. Everybody in chat loves him as well. He's in a lot of 8s, and I see him plenty of times murking me on the death screen as well. But it will for now be Dirty Brains as he is getting quite a bit of hill time. Unfortunately, Zeta went down on the defense, but the Clemson Tigers do take the first hill. We are moving on to the second one here.
Authoritatively as well. Trying to get at least some of that landing off of the repulse as well as the plasma to follow. It wasn't a direct connect stick, but it did put him in proximity. So good luck to the Spartan Tigers rather. Pushback SNU, who would prime themselves to get to the red. The hardest part about getting to the hill first is really unlocking it and holding down opposite spawns, and especially for Lattice, you have to get them spread out to the opposite side of this mid-bridge. QT gets popped down. Dirty Brains doing what Dirty Brains do. That's being dirty with it as they have to TP away. It's going to be a full-man rush here for the Crimson Storm.
SNU South Nazarene are trying to make this push into computers. They are going down 2 at a time. And the Spartan Tigers take their second hill in this game 1 of the beginning of the hill lattice here. I am just flubbing words all over the place. My mouth is very, very sticky. Trying to get some lubricants. Like, take a couple of swigs of this water Buddha here to help me out. Is none other than HailMonkeyman. He does best is cover my slack, but Dirty Brains getting a nice double kill. He's going to put a lot of pressure onto this hill. Misses a melee, but it does not matter because the Tigers will eventually get this hill.
Undone carrying a breadstick right now into the kill column, but they have 7 assists. 10 and 3 and making 11 is Zeta. Dirty Brains in combination with them has really been a dynamic duo. The Tigers have been using them full effect. S7 pick it up off the rack, gonna drop down and be sneaky around the other side. Oak Assassin never saw that one until it hit their temple and then the respawn screen. 3 down again. SNU has not found much in terms of hill. They've really just found the bill and has been paid off over and over again via their skulls. Tigers primed to get mid 10. Gonna be 3 up. Looking for that next one up onto that top side bridge.
Very dominant start by the Spartan Tigers so far. 3 hills uncontested by SNU. Unfortunately, struggling to try and get any pressure on the board because Dirty Brains with his S7 has been nothing short of deadly. And Zeta helping him out as well. 12, 3, and 4, Zeta, and Dirty Brains 10, 2, and 2. Both of the main slayers for the Tigers are coming up strong.
Enemy team takes the this one. There's been so much quickness about getting this one done. Triple kill picked up. That's going to be a consolation prize at least to knock out some of these Tigers. And so one thing that we look at for Lattice, this hill in particular is the most exposed, one of the toughest to hold. You have to force the entirety of this spawn to go down to that low side of the red screen, and that's really when you finally get advantage. Otherwise, I can see us burning through 3+ minutes, depending on how they actually make these slays happen. But Manila wants to get this one done.
I believe the call for the Spartan Tigers is indeed to get this hill and just move on in the series. They only need 1 left, and SNU so far have been really struggling in putting the fight. Unfortunately, 2 go down for SNU, get traded out only for Manila. And this last player here from SNU is trying to stay alive. Unfortunately, he finds the gun of Zeta, who guns him down in cold blood. And it looks like SNU are forced to respawn in Red Tower or Red Building, and it's not looking great for SNU because
prowling, and they have been absolutely great. We're gonna go 4-0 here on King of the Hill Lattice. We were talking about it a little bit before, going from the green room otherwise, and felt like both these teams had to use this as a measuring stick, truly to see where they are in this Pod D gameplay. Because
I'm sure they'll do just fine, but as we are finally going to load into the game, we're going to be on the POV of Electrics, and we're going to see if South Nazarene have what it takes to take one game off of these Spartan Tigers.
I do not see anyone acting alone. I feel like that's the main thing that has to operate, especially for Streets. Streets has such good crossfire potential, and look at the power play that you're already seeing pushed up into the red room to try and take over the best stuff. So, first blood and some good points picked up here by the Crimson Storm out of Southern Nazarene. That weapon was taken away. A nice assist from out of Oak Assassin. This is exactly how they started off on that early Lattice map.
A very quick 5-0 swing for South Nazarene. Definitely going to prove a lot of the doubters wrong. If anybody was doubting them in the chat, I bid you to pay attention to the current score, as once again the Spartan Tigers continue to try and trade out. Not getting the kill. It looks like they're finally going to catch Baller all by himself in a very quick cleanup. So far, the Clemson Tigers are taking a little long to try and speed things up a little bit, but could just be the early game jitters.
I mean, it's definitely, you look into the first 20 kills, we see how the split goes, and if it ends up on about maybe the 15-5 mark, then you start getting a little bit panicky because that's double digits. But we have seen some stabilization here from Clemson for the time being. SNU with a fantastic opener, though, and much of this map was simplified into a single hole up to that arcade light. Trying to be able to walk away with it. We got an assault rifle off the rack, baby. I'm so glad to see college players using the sandbox.
There is no GAs here at College Halo. Everything is good to go. So if you don't want to use it, that's going to be on you. There are no rules saying that you can't. But Oak Assassin, I was talking about it before. He's doing the work for SNU right now. 7-2-0. The man currently leading his team. Almost gets a sticky repulse. Unfortunately, not quite going to get it there. Trying to play his slide, but he's going to get hunted down by none other than Zeta, who's watching his partner Dirty Brains die over in driveway. And we'll see if this is going to be the start of an aggressive push from Clemson. So far, stalling things out a little bit, taking things a little bit slow, but I believe the trigger's going to get pulled right about now.
15-7. A little bit better than what I had said, but goes into it, and you still have a very steady lead being built up by SNU, 9-1. Came up just less than a handful short of getting into that killing frenzy to open up his first life. Gonna find one from the grave, and they're now pushing their second, but they have a nice view from the respawn because they're just picking up some extra utility. I don't think that got hurt. Doesn't be on a dead Spartan body. Tigers still nipping at the heels here for SNU as they go 3 down. And you don't want to let the speed kill you here, Revanite, because the Storm is doing really well about not overcommitting at times, keeping some of these battlefields centralized to singular spots, but the Tigers are starting to really rally up.
6 kills separating these two teams, make that 7 kills as Dirty Brains gets taken down. However, Zeta on the wings, he just respawned, already brought down the shields. This is a huge piv, and he does win that with the help of his friend. However, is it a little bit too late? Too tough to tell. So plenty of this game left to go. Oak Assassin getting killed by a double team from the Clemson Tigers. And the Clemson Tigers looks like they finally got a little bit of momentum. Zeta poking, prodding, dipping, dodging, using cover, using whatever angles he can find to try and put as much damage down as he can. He hears the call-outs. He's on the prowl. He's looking around. He's got a nice little flank if he can get a couple of good shots. Unfortunately for him, he might not come out. No, he loses that 1v1 against Chief. It gets traded out very quickly. Unfortunately for SNU, they go 3 down, and the Spartan Tigers, they're growling.
Yeah, I was starting to get a little afraid here for the Tigers because when you looked at least Manila, there was Dirty Brains who was not having the game that they wanted. Manila was at what, 1-0-2 at one point, 1-0-3. They looked apprehensive in some of these fights, and now you're starting to see them really swarm down into the Crimson Storm. Meeting the halfway mark first is SNU. Southern Nazarene has been sequestered from now the push of the Tigers. Only a 3-kill lead. Tigers have really come into this map. They're all going to be towards that tram side. It feels like we started right back from where we had begun from from spawn. Undone is going to get a little pop check, see if anyone's nearby. A play over to a red room. Maybe Stalker Rifle is going to be in the works, trying to pick it up on the open field. 13 and 5. Oaken Assassin is going to be the guy that SNU leans on right now.
13 and 6. He's been going down quite a bit, but a nice triple kill coming out of Dirty Brains. Going to tie up this game for the Clemson Tigers, and you gotta wonder, HailMonkeyman, where did it all go wrong? Oak Assassin was doing so much work. Unfortunately, he's just taking so much damage. Getting a backlash from a Tiger player in bottom sub isn't going to be what the doctor ordered, but I do believe that was camo at the very least first for SNU, but they did manage to get themselves a couple of kills there. What's that on the hip there? I think that's Shroud. I believe that's Shroud on the hip of that SNU player who just went down with Oak Assassin. But the Spartan Tigers, once again, continuously putting on the pressure, and SNU are just reeling from it. Look at this. The pressure coming in from Pink Streets, and it's none other than Zeta with the Stalker Rifle in hand as well. And all of SNU is inside the subway.
There was no plan from T-Baller right there. They were hoping to get a little peek around that Pink Street side, and then as they saw everyone get there was no escape route. Now, running out of blast ain't the way that I wanted to see it happen either. Zeta eventually drops out. Dirty Brains, after having a very quiet early game, the mid to late has really shown up as they're now 11 and 9. This is where they were really shining, especially onto that King of the Hill. Everything is starting to really come up Tigers. They're up by 3. Remember, this was as many as 8 up in favor of SNU. Southern Nazarene seems like they're being put in the bin a lot more often. Zeta gets the double digits to join their duo.
The Tigers are finally in the lead by 4 kills. That fight in Subway, unfortunately, not going the way of Southern Nazarene, and they're trying to stay alive in back A and Cafe. And the Tigers are just waiting for everybody to get online, to get ready to go before they start pulling the trigger and start making the collapse onto these players. The call is now. Undone is trying to make his way, poking and prodding, but Zeta is there to cover him. Unfortunately, a nice reversal from Electrics is going to take him down, but gets traded out immediately by Dirty Brains, and Oak Assassin with that sidekick takes down Undone in the wings as well. And the Tigers are trying their hardest to continue to put this pressure onto SNU, but SNU doing a great job of rotating away from danger.
Tigers actually got a bit too methodical in that last month. They just kind of forced them a couple of cross angles, and SNU decided, you know what, we ball, just run straight into the fray. Now the 3-kill lead still exists in favor of Clemson, so they still could be able to lead SNU around. But SNU, the confidence is coming back into the boots, and they're starting to hit the street. And they know that a couple of these angles are about to overexpose them. They're going to have to fade away from that carbine placement. Big nade is going to be forced up into Chief. As they run backwards, they're being covered by Zeta. Zeta doesn't know that someone's literally off to their left. They're going to get down into it now. Triple kill on its way. It's collected. There's a purple heart, and it goes straight into the stars.
Well done by Zeta. Very patient play. Didn't push too far. He knew there was somebody on B rail, just waited for that, and also heard the shots coming out of Arcade. And he didn't overextend himself. A great repeat as well. Nice re-challenge. He does get cleaned up, unfortunately, but SNU are left reeling from this Tiger attack, and the claws have come out. The growl has been heard, and SNU are trying their hardest to stem the tide, but unfortunately for them, it's just not quite going to be enough. Zeta does trade out his teammate as well, but the attack from Driveway is relatively strong. He is forced to back away. But look at the scoreboard. It is Zeta and Dirty Brains doing so much work for this Tiger squad, and SNU is all on the back of Oak Assassin.
Assassin doing their absolute best to duct tape this entire team together. It feels like it's just going to be Trade City now. They just need 3 of the other squad down by bigger margin than they were before. And I mean, Clemson looks like they can just be able to seal this one out. They are playing this one more methodical. They know this is a favorite position for SNU. They love to play from outside of that arcade predator. Just prodding, seeing what they can get. Undone will fall. There is somewhere in the mania of this to fumble your lead. The Tigers don't need to overexpose, and they're gonna find a couple now facing against them.
Ooh.
Suddenly, it's only 3 kills down.
But they gotta move quickly. They cannot let the Tigers get these 3 spawns together. The stick comes out from Zeta. He's gonna trade that out 48 to 45. The Tigers just need 2, but SNU are going to have to play perfect Halo from here on out. They cannot go for a 1v1. They have to go for as many 2v1s as they can to try and get these pids, to try and get these kills. Dirty Brain kills 1. Just 1 more is left, and it's all down to Retro, but no, he's not there. But the trade from Dirty Brains. Dirty Brains does what is necessary, and the Tigers go up 2-0 in a very close Slayer game. For sure, yes. The debate of which hold is a tale as told as old as time. Something that's a question that's been around since year 1. But we're going to find out what team prioritizes which strategy here in game number 3 as we open up with Zeta, the MVP, with his buddy Dirty Brains. In my opinion, it looks like Clemson are going to get themselves an easy camo grab as the opening strategy goes 3 dead for SNU. A great opening start from the Spartan Tigers.
Goodness gracious, they even get to spawn in? Oh, they were eating wall faster than they were able to even move on site. Trip Cap immediately sees under threat here by SNU to at least break that one. Best thing, that one eventually does get completed, but it's a double kill and a killing spree. Straight off first life for Dirty Brains. They're about to flip this right back around. And the best thing about a Trip Cap, you're going to be consistently scoring regardless of where your opponent goes. And it gives them a free understanding of intel of where you're spawning out.
Not only that, the double points per second is huge, especially in a game like Strongholds. Puts so much pressure on the opposing team who's a little bit behind. And unfortunately, oh my gosh, it's a cluster over a top elevator on top A. And Zeta doesn't have any bullets. He dies. He goes down. I believe that's the camel player that was there, or maybe it just ran out. But SNU, they did manage to take A, getting flipped very shortly by Clemson Tigers. And as B and C look to get flipped here as well, I wonder if SNU might be able to turn this into something for them. But C hasn't been taken yet, actually. Now it's going to finally flip. And the stick coming in from Zeta is going to take down Chief. But this piv is huge. But Dirty Brains gets another perfect 5. And it looks like another triple cap will be his reward.
9-1 for Dirty Brains. This dude was looking nasty and dirty when it came to game number 1, and it has continued since then. They went a little bit quiet in early turns for that Street Slayer, but since then they've been reactivated, and that seems to take a while to flip because the dude died on top of it. I swore it was actually going to be reset by the Tigers, and eventually it just came right back on. We have been living in Smurfville. A, B, and C have been blue far more often than any other color, and SNU is struggling to even find their first points. Double points. If you're talking about this one could take a long time, we are sprinting.
Yeah, the double points continue to tick for Clemson. SNU, they are spawning very, very heavy. They're taking so much damage from all the grenades. The triple kill for Manila. That's not what was written on the cards for SNU. And they're trying to stay alive as they did manage to take B. But Dirty Brains takes down Chief, and here comes yet another flip as Manila. He eats a couple of grenades for his troubles. That tasted good. Some yum, yum, yum. Unfortunately for him, it doesn't really matter, actually, as SNU continue to find themselves multiple dead as Clemson continuously applying the pressure. And Chief, you better look out. Here comes Undone. You're about to be unraveled. He does live for now, trying to flee towards blue tunnels, but gets taken down by Dirty Brains, and it's all blue, all Tigers, all orange and black.
This has been domination. Crimson Storm doesn't even get a chance to have a headwind as the Tigers continue to just put them in the bin. For SNU, they're being basically spawn hunted. They have no which locations they come from, especially when they show signs of whatever side they're going to be heading toward. And it's just great execution by the Tigers. B and C, primary hold. C, you're going to be threatened for the time being from out of SNU, and they might be able to finally get first points on the board. Will do so. Zeta don't like none of that. 1 point? No. They end up flying down, use that shock rifle, and they've got the grapple to just consistently find themselves with speed. So it won't be a shutout, but Tigers, they're not letting anything go easy.
I mean, look at how fast Zeta moves across the map with its grapple shot as well. Bringing Chief down to no shields, and an easy cleanup for Dirty Brains, who is 15-2 right now. And it's just been an absolute slaughterhouse, unfortunately, for SNU. They are trying to make something happen. They're trying to win these pids. There we go. There's 2 dead for Clemson. Could this be it? Unfortunately, Okassassin not quite ready to move across the map just yet. He does have help from his teammate, but immediately retreats all the way back towards C as he heard the team call. A big push coming from long haul, but Dirty Brains takes him down, and this will be another flip on C. And just when you thought that maybe SNU could finally get more than just a few points, Clemson shuts it down.
C has been consistently harassed and retaken by both these squads, and the Tigers have been full over for the most part. You finally get a fadeaway jumper as T-Baller has struggled to get really involved into this game. 2-8 at this point. Chiefs even worse. And for SNU, it feels like they're just kind of struggling to see themselves even in this matchup. You've got the camo coming up in about 5 seconds. Tigers have a chance to really just nullify the entirety of that utility. It's more of a bait at this point. Southern Nazarene might be a quick night for him.
2:35 and counting. Only a few more seconds left in this match, I believe, as we are 10 seconds away from ending this match, unless nothing changes. And it looks like SNU, I don't think they're trying to get a foothold in A, but so much damage coming in. Manila finally getting taken down by T-Baller. As T-Baller tries to get some position, Zeta shuts him down, and just one more second is going to be all she wrote. And the Clemson Tigers dominate in spectacular fashion. 3-0 sweep Southern Nazarene.